Bonjour and como vous and Gervais Thrady and Merci. Hey, it's good to see everybody. We hope that you had a great week so far, but if you've been here before, you know what we do. We make it better for you because we got information that you can use and hopefully that you can pass on to your friends, the ones who aren't here, okay? But anyway, as in usual fashion, hey, Alina, how are you? Hey, Princess. Hey, Martin. In usual fashion, this is what we do. If you're new to our live, first thing we do, we toast up because every day is a great day. As long as you're above ground, it's a great day. So we toast up to that. So here's to everybody on the live. All right, all right. It's good to see you all. Hey, Paul. It's good to see all of you. We are always ecstatic and happy to have all of these people show up because we definitely have some information that we like to pass on to you, and we hope that you can use it. That's the only reason we do this, okay? Now, last week we talked about how far loyalty should go because we all have those friends where they think that regardless of what happens, that we're supposed to be loyal to them. And I think that's a myth, that's a misunderstanding, and that's dangerous. You don't have to be loyal to people who are not loyal to you. If they don't reciprocate it, they don't deserve it from you. All right? So let's make sure that we pass the word on that. This loyalty thing has gone a little far. And I think there's a lot of misunderstanding about it, okay? So listen. What I'm saying to you is this, that if you're loyal to people, and we should all strive to be that way, but there are certain people in our lives that take advantage of it, right? And we should never allow people to take advantage of it. So without further ado, we're going to bring my co-host on, and we're going to talk about this very, very interesting subject, overcoming doubt and second-guessing ourselves, especially when the people we depend on and the people that we think are going to support us, they don't support us. Now, I know we're disappointed with that, but it happens all the time. So let me bring my co-host on. Y'all go ahead and nurse those drinks, get your throat wet, and again, make sure you make your comments because we'll address them, okay? All right. All right, got one more. Hey, Miss O'Neill, how are you?
Doing?
We're
Hey,
doing. We're doing. I can't complain.
Yo, what's up?
Hey, what's up, Keith? What's happening with you, boss?
What's going on? What's going on?
Oh man, trying to adjust to this weather that we got, man. It's nice, but it's kind of surprising to be this warm this early.
Man, this weather is crazy, man.
I don't know what it is up in Jersey. I know y'all had
We had like
snow.
80s. We were like 82 today, 80, something like that. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's been last few days. Now tomorrow is going down into the 30s again. So yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Make sure
But
you keep your long johns handy, brother.
hey, March is a tricky month though. There's a saying out here in the Northeast. They say March comes in like a lamb, but it goes out like a lion.
Hey, I can see that too, especially what I've been seeing for the past several weeks up there.
Yeah. They talking about more snow.
Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man.
That's what
Well,
I'm saying.
we've been having some storms, but I mean nothing that's too threatening. You know, rain and a little hail, but
Hmm.
not much to cause any damage. Miss
Hey,
O'Neill, how are you up in your neck of the woods? I guess she must have fell off again. Why she come back in? I was here. I heard everything
No,
you
I,
said.
I heard you. Everything was fine. I went
Yeah.
over. No, because the dogs are fighting, and I'm like, okay, I got Kobe and I got Tink. Tink is bigger than Kobe, but Tink is scared of Kobe. So every time Kobe go to Tink, Tink start
What
barking. And
kind of dogs you got?
a Chiweenie and a Yorkie Chihuahua mix, and the Yorkie Chihuahua mix mean.
Oh,
So
okay. Yeah, I
yeah,
can
the
imagine.
Chiweenie don't care. She be like, run up then.
Right, I got you.
Hey,
Yeah.
you got that ain't of nature. She got that from you, probably.
Hush.
As much as you be talking about pots and pans and hitting people and all that.
Hush. Hush. Hush.
All right. Okay, let's get started. Hey, it's good to see all of you. Y'all keep pouring in. Hopefully, we can beat our mark of last time. It's always great when we have all these people in here because that shows that people are interested in what we're saying. And if you get a chance in between time to kind of read what's on my shirt, it'll give you some insight about fathers, okay? It's probably upside down, though. But anyway. Opa. All right. Now, let's get on to our discussion. How do we overcome doubt and second guessing ourselves, especially when the people that we thought that we could get their support, you know how you get all hyped and you start a project and you keep it to yourself for a minute, but then you get so excited that you have to tell somebody. And the people you tell who you thought would support you, they try to talk you out of it. They give you reasons why it won't work. I mean, how many times did that happen? This happened far too many times than I can count in my life. But overcoming doubt when people don't support what we're doing is one of the most difficult parts of pursuing something that's meaningful and realistic. If we look at those people and we expect them to support us and they don't, man, it can destroy our entire world. It can make us quit if we're not strong. It can make us quit if we're lacking something that we counted on them to provide for us, such as resources or financial support, moral support, whatever the case may be. It can be devastating to some people. But here's what you have to understand. It often happens when our vision grows faster than the understanding of the people around us. That's when we don't get support from those individuals who we depend on or think we need at the time. They don't support us when our vision grows faster than the understanding of the people around us. Now, don't get me wrong, lack of support can make us question ourselves, even when our direction is correct. Now, that is a very important dynamic. When you don't get support, it could have you questioning yourself, even when the direction that you're going is correct. I often think about, all the people that I knew and met in my life who shared great ideas. I wonder how many of them actually followed through. Some of them, some of the people we can keep up with, some of them we can't, especially in a large city, a metropolitan area, or the military, or a major corporation that have a lot of people. But we know that all of these people have dreams and aspirations. And most of them, they come to us for our support. So that's just a question you might want to ask yourself in between time. Some of the people who you knew had great ideas, and they may have mentioned it to you in passing. They may have needed your support, and you declined. You have to wonder if those people are successful or that they follow through with whatever they set out to do. But there are ways that we can manage this doubt. And that's the most important thing. We have to manage that doubt because it will set in when you don't have the support that you thought that you needed. And check this out. A lot of times, the support that you thought you need, you don't even need. And if you continue on, you find out that it wasn't that important, or that element of what you was doing was not necessary at that particular time. So the first way that we have to manage that doubt when we don't get the support we need is to separate feedback from fear. Let me say that again. The first thing that we have to do when we don't get the support that we want, the first thing we have to do is separate feedback, because that's what these people give us. The support individuals in our lives, they give us feedback. So we have to separate the feedback from our fears. That's simple enough. But it's probably easier said than done. But if we understand not all criticisms are wisdom, in layman terms, everything that they're talking about ain't the best thing for you. So we have to learn that not all criticisms are wisdom. Sometimes people discourage us because they fear failure themselves. It may not even be their project, but they fear failure themselves. A second reason is that they simply don't understand your vision. When you have a vision and when you have an idea, it is yours and yours alone. So if you're not the front runner in making it happen, or if you easily discourage, then you are wasting something that entity has placed in your mind and in your heart outside of our human understanding. You're the only one that receives that vision. No one receives the same vision at the same time, at the same place, and in the same space. It doesn't happen that way. It's something independent to your thoughts, and it's directly and solely for you. So a lot of times they simply don't understand your vision. And here's the last one, and it's very important. Or your growth makes them feel uncomfortable. Now, I've had that happen in my life on many occasions. When you start growing and you're doing things outside of that comfort zone, it makes people very uncomfortable because they're comfortable with the relationship the way it is. The one thing that we all fear is the unknown and uncertainty. We all have that fear. But the folks who are successful learn to manage it. They learn to manage their fear so they can accomplish whatever mission that they have set for. Y'all got anything you want to add real quick, DeJoya?
No, I have to wait a minute and see what the other man over there say, and then I'm gonna jump in and say what I gotta say.
Okay.
When I hear y'all.
Keep it going. Keith, you got anything right now?
Yeah.
Because she gonna fall in as soon as she finds something to argue with us about.
Well, I mean, I think that any of us can relate to having a dream having a vision that nobody else believes in or sees the way you see it. And
Absolutely.
the biggest thing at that point is you have to make a decision if what it is, the vision you have, is it for other people in the sense of you're concerned about what they think about it, or is this something for you? Because in the Bible, it says a man or woman without a vision will perish. So if this particular vision comes at you, especially in a spiritual way that these things come, and people think when we speak, let's say this on the live too, people think when we say vision, don't take that literally, like you went to sleep and you saw Jesus in the vision in your sleep or something, or you saw the archangel or whoever. Nah. It's a spiritual thing. It's like a feeling that you have. And that's why a lot of people in the world, I'll say in the world, are unhappy because spiritually, some of them, there's something in the bottom of their gut, in their heart, in their soul that they know they're supposed to be doing and they don't do it. And then they wonder why they feel tortured, they feel unhappy because you're spiritually not right. The spirit is telling you what it is that you're supposed to be doing. The problem is, just like and we always talk about books, right? I'm not promoting people or books, but you can get things from them. Battlefield of the Mind. I'll let everybody look that up about who wrote that book. But Battlefield of the Mind, it talks about having a quiet mind and how the spirit is always talking to us. But a lot of us are so busy with the other stuff. We have a busy mind. So we can't actually receive what is actually being communicated to us through that actual realm or that frequency. So once you get to a point that you realize that your dream is between you and the Supreme Architect and the other people who are trying to poop on it, as we'll say, they don't have to get you. You know that if you don't follow what you're supposed to follow, you're going to torture yourself for the rest of your life. But at the same time, usually you feel it and it's a passion. So now you go, me personally, I like when people don't believe in it, or I like when people don't see it. I like when people say it's not possible. That gives me more energy. I'm ready to go now. This person said this can't happen. Oh man, you running with the commodities people, man. Oh, that ain't never gonna happen. Yeah. Oh yeah. You running with these people over here in music. You got this dream. Whoever, whatever it is that people say. No, that gives me ammo. But my point, and I'll give it to you, is very simple. When you get to a point as a person that it doesn't matter what other people say, and I guess I'll say, and let me say it this way. This is where I'm different. And maybe for some of the people on the live, for some, I might not relate in this way. From when I was a kid, I'm talking I was a kid, I never cared what nobody thought. So I must have been born that way. It must be in my DNA. I'm talking like elementary school, junior high school. I never, what'd you say, Mr. G?
I said, you exactly like me. I never cared.
I never cared. That's why I never got in trouble. Peer pressure, this and that. If I got in trouble, it's because I made a decision to do that situation. Ain't nobody influenced me. I never cared what nobody thought. So I don't know. So some people on the live, they might struggle with that. And I'm not trying to say that their struggle is not real. All I'm trying to say is that even still, you can get out of that. Because the way you get out of that is your confidence in yourself and your ability to think, your ability to analyze, your ability to assess situations, your ability to read people, all these different things. When you have that confidence, you know that you're not making a wrong decision. And over a period of time, even if you made that decision, the spirit realm will show you that it was wrong because people remove themselves. Some people in your life for a season, right? We say everybody's in your life for a reason. Some are there for a season. Some are there long term. Some are there just to drop a gem on you and then disappear. But anyway, I've been talking too long. Go ahead.
Hey, but look, you're right, Keith. And the thing is, even if you make a mistake, if it's genuinely something that you are trying to achieve, you're going to be guided because my firm belief is things don't pop into your head or you don't have dreams for no reason at all. You just don't dream for no reason. It's just like anything in the universe. When we use the universal principle, everything that happens in our lives is there for a reason. It's either a lesson or blessing. So we learn out of every experience that we have. So when we're talking about, as you just said, I've never been one to even care about what people thought. Now, people used to think or used to present it to me like it was a state of arrogance or being cocky. I never saw it that way. It's just that it doesn't make sense for me to think about what you think when I'm the one that's going to execute. And even if I'm asking you for your assistance, if you don't give it to me, I'm not disappointed because it's my mission and my mission alone. And I'm going to find a way to make it happen because it's just the way I'm built and it's part of my DNA. So a lot of the things that I was smiling when you were saying that because it reminded me of myself so long ago when people cast doubt on several things that I myself personally and as a group in music that we attempted to do. And we became very successful despite that. I believe all of this stems from you as a person. When you learn to channel your energy into one particular thing, that force is so powerful, it can be stopped. Here's the problem. We only want it when we want it. Let me say that again. The problem with most people is that we only want whatever it is we're trying to obtain when we want it. So when we start, and if it don't work out that first time, or within that first 5 minutes, I mean, with the internet and social media and all that, everybody wants instant results in every facet of their lives. So when it doesn't work out, we're on to the next thing. That's why we fail. Go ahead.
I don't know. A couple things for me. And it's funny because I work with kids and this comes up all the time. My vision is way too big for other people to see because most people can only see a little bit, and I use the kids as an example because they always say, "Oh, who you looking at?" Because your eyes going everywhere. No, they ain't. Hell, I can see everywhere. I learned to look everywhere, and I use even my disability or my issues to see that. God didn't make my eyes this way for no reason. He made it so I can focus and see everywhere. You know what I mean? So if I can't see how to get it one way, I'm gonna figure out another way to see it, another way to get it. Because if I can see it, I can be it. If I can dream it, I can do it. And
But
I don't really, I
The
don't,
Joya, you're built different. And that's the thing that you
yeah,
have to
yeah,
understand. You're built different. And when
right,
you say it very easily. And this is what I want people on the live to hear. When you hear DeJoya say it, it's second nature to her because she's mastered herself and she's mastered
that
this.
part,
So you see what I'm
yeah,
saying? So when you say it,
yeah,
it comes so easy how you saying it. But some of the people on the live don't fully understand the depth of what we're saying, is what I'm saying to you.
yeah. Yeah, and then you got to understand if people tell me no, and Greg, you can attest to this. If you tell me no, I'm gonna figure out another way for you to say yes. Because if you tell me no, you just said no to how I asked you that time. I'm gonna figure out a way for me to ask you where you could say yes, or I'm gonna do it where you ain't got no choice but to say yes. And that's why when we talk about fear and all of those kind of things, people put that so you can say no and you can accept the no. There is no way you can accept no in your life. That shouldn't even come up in your vocabulary, in your thought process, in your dreams, or in anything. And if I can dream it, I can. It's already in me. It's already manifested for me, or for you. But if you too busy worried about what other people think, and then you worried about, oh, I can't do it, and this and that and the third, then the devil steps in. I can't let the devil get in my way. I will roll over that mug with one of them tankers. I've been watching the movies on Netflix, where them tankers and everything. I done learned them things, so I'm gonna be a tanker in my life. So you got to learn to do that. There's more than one way to deal with a problem. There's more than one way to solve a problem. It might not be what somebody else would do, but that's because it's not their problem. It's your problem. So you have to figure out a way to unlock the equation that will solve your own problem, your own Pythagorean theory, your own algebraic equation, and things like that, because those variables are just there for different things you can insert into the situation to get the result that you want. So that is how I think, and I deal with everything, for the most part. And sometimes I get a little discouraged and I start that was me kind of crap, and then I have to rethink, like, I must have forgot who I am. So at some point you have to be able to realize all of those things in your life.
Oh, you
Yeah,
talking about Pythagorean theorem? Homie was a Mason. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
all of that.
homie was a
Yeah,
Mason. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Geometry is the key to everything.
yeah. There's
So
nothing you can do
we
without
can't.
nothing.
Yeah, so we can't take those variables out, and a lot of people have a hard time dealing with different variables in life. Well, that's why they teach you math. That's why you learn all these things, because one, you have to learn to problem solve anything. Has an answer. So you have to get to those parts in your life, and when you do, then if somebody doubts you, that it's just not an option. You don't fail at all.
Hey, C. Hey, Angie. And hey, Angela. And Sarah. And Michael. Hey, check this out. Here's the thing. A lot of people will have all the confidence in the world when they're desperate. A lot of people, we can sit and we can talk and we can have these conversations all day long. Most people, when they have something going on in their lives and they're desperate, they really can channel that energy into that thing. But it's short-lived. Here's the takeaway from this line. When you are fully invested in whatever it is you're doing, then doubt does not enter your mind. And if it does enter your mind, it's quickly dissolved and thrown away. Because as DeJoya said,
There you go.
once you know who you are, we're all human, so we're gonna have a little doubt, but we're talking about doubt that really prohibits you from continuing or completing whatever you decided. You can have doubt. We're all human, so we've got those human characteristics and we've got those emotions. So when a whole bunch of people don't support us, yeah, we can second guess ourselves. But I'm like Keith said, it don't matter. That motivates me. If you say I can't make $1 million, man, you ain't seen nobody go as hard as I would when I really am invested in myself, and I'm not going to say I want to prove you wrong. I want to prove myself right.
Yeah, I want to prove you wrong too. That's called my vanity. I'm still growing. You know what I'm saying? Call that my vanity. I want to prove you wrong. I'm gonna pull up on your block in that new whip and say, "Hey, what up? Where you at? Boop, boop. Come outside." Yeah.
Hey, but see, the thing is, and once you get to the point where you know that the grand architect of the universe, anything that you ask for, if you have the right presence, if you have the right heart condition, you can have anything in this dimension that you want. A lot of people look at me like I'm crazy when I say that, and I'm saying it because I made it happen in my life. So it's not something, if it's like if someone shows you something, you can't unsee it. You cannot pretend that it didn't exist. Once you've seen it, it becomes part of your reality. So when we understand,
I feel like you have to literally. I feel like you have to literally, when we are talking about things that you can attain by what you see and in the stride that you go within the universe, you have to really like go like Brother Malcolm for real by any means necessary. And
Got to
I,
move
if
militant.
if you know
Yeah.
me, you know me by any
Hmm.
means necessary.
Got to move militant.
Um,
Yep.
to, yes, in
Hmm.
order to get to where you need to go, and if it's a good goal, and like you said, where your heart condition is or whatever, by any means necessary, you will attain that goal or that prize that or whatever that you're trying to get out. I'm saying prize by whatever goal you're trying to reach.
Yeah, but see,
So I mean, people.
here's my problem. My problem is I've seen so many talented people. I've seen so many people that are gifted, and I've seen so many people who have a gift that they don't even know how to develop. They don't pay the required amount of time and put the right
Because
amount of
people think
energy.
they're entitled. There we go with that word again. Because that's your gift, or because
Well,
who you know,
well,
things like that.
I'm
People.
coming from another angle, DeJoya. I know that there's some arrogance about people who really know their talent. I'm saying just the ordinary Joe, where people who have a certain talent, it's so easy for them to quit. It's so easy for them to give up. And I'm not understanding that mentality.
Because they don't trust because that's what you because somebody else discourage. Let me tell you something. We talking about this, right? But people's discouragement can be the downfall. For some people, it only take one person, and that's just it. That's just it. They don't do it anymore. You can't depend. You can't let me put this. It ain't nice, but you can't give a damn what people say about you. You know what I'm saying? You can't care what people think about what you're trying to do. All that matters is that you know what you're trying to do. And because some people, they get in those situations where they have people say, "Oh, that's stupid. Oh, you can't do that. Oh, that's not possible." If it take that one person to throw you off your game, then you don't want it anyway. You gotta want, like you say, you want it till you want it. You gotta want it when you want it, till you want it, till you don't want it, till your mama want it, till everybody want it. You can't just be selective in when it gets too hard, I'm gonna quit. When it gets hard, that's when you need to go.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
when you have those people, that think like that, that's what
Yeah.
stops you.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
what stops you.
Yeah.
Those
You
You
people.
talking
can't,
and preaching right
you
now.
can't, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying, you can't do that. There was a time, that I could walk all day. I could walk all day, all the time. It was nothing for me to make 30,000 steps. Now it's hard for me to get up the stairs. The first step is the hardest, and the last step is the hardest. But do you think that make me stop getting up the ones in the middle? I just grab the rail and go. I could do simple things, get in the bathtub. Now I gotta have a bathtub. But do you think that's gonna stop me
Yeah,
from
but hey,
getting in the bathtub? No. So you gotta get to that point where you just do what you gotta do.
well,
Period.
my thing is, people. I'm talking about the ones who are so easy. Hey, Olga. Um, hey, D. Those people who are so easily detached from their dreams. When you have a vision.
Then it was never your dream
But
then.
listen,
This is the thing.
that's not
But
true.
it was never yours.
Listen to what I'm saying. It's their dream. It's their dream because it's unique to themselves. So if now there are some people who are faking the funk, we're not talking about those people. I'm talking about the people who clearly have an idea, a talent, a
But
work.
but listen, that's when you got to get to the point where you're going to be true to thine own self. Okay. Because if you going to, that's just the way I see it. If it's your dream, then you got to be true to yourself. Hey, this is my dream. I need to go get it. I need to get it. If you can't put that in motion, then you know what? You don't want that. Then it must have not been yours. Because if it's mine, I'm gonna claim it, I'm gonna grab it, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be true to myself because I'm not gonna fail myself based on what somebody else said or did or thought about me. That's the worst thing you can do. You fail yourself. People be talking about disappointing others and things like that. But the worst thing for me is to disappoint myself. And I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah,
That's
but
just
see,
that's just that.
I agree 100%. I'm not talking about where people are influenced by other people. I'm saying the people who just don't have the self esteem, who don't have the actual confidence to continue. Now,
But
like I
but
said,
you hurt yourself. But that's what I'm saying. Why hurt? Why am I going to do that to me? Why am I going to fail me? Why, if I know who I am and if I know whose I am, why am I going to fail
well, then
me? Why
explain to
am I
me
going to let
why
that
so
get in the
many
way?
people. Explain to me why so many people are not successful. Then,
And I'm telling you why. I just said why. You let me tell you, you got if you don't fight for you, who gonna fight for you? If you don't fight for you, who's gonna fight for you? That's why you're not successful. Because you let somebody else discourage you, or because you feel like you're a victim of your circumstance and you want to have pity on yourself. You cannot do that. That's
well,
that's where
and
success
that's
is.
my point exactly.
Period.
So, hey, a lot of people are discouraged by other people. I'm saying not only are they discouraged by other people, some people just don't have the confidence in themselves or the self esteem in themselves to even feel that they can do it. And everybody needs somebody. I'm not saying that you can do everything in this world on your own. Everybody needs somebody, some kind of way. Even if it's support and they don't even know about it. Sometimes a person can even speak to you or say, that looks nice, something you're doing, and that's all you need to hear. They are supporting you, but that's enough to keep you going and get you through the next day. All right.
But for one, a lot of people depend on the love and everything from everybody else. First, you gotta love yourself. That's first thing. That's first thing. That's why a lot of
Absolutely.
people have low self esteem because one, they don't love themselves. They feel like oh, there's nobody here to love me, so I don't love myself. It is somebody here to love you. First of all, you have to get to that point in your life. You may not be the Lola Falana, and I said Lola Falana because I like her, y'all. She was my childhood thing. I want to be like her when I grew up. I thought she was just so beautiful. But you have to get to a point where you love you. You have to get to a point where you could look at yourself in the mirror every day and be like, I'm all right. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people fail to do that. A lot of people don't even realize they don't love themselves. If you love yourself and if you believe in yourself, it's going to shine through all of that most of the time. Most of the time it shines through all of that. But we have to learn to accept that love ain't easy. Success is not easy. Overcoming fears and other things are not easy at all. But it's a lot easier when you love yourself, and therefore everything else falls in place. That's just the way I feel about that part.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Hey, Levon, how are you? Listen, I'm going to say this, and this is very key in being successful. I've said it once. The first way to manage is, first of all, to separate feedback from fear. And when we're talking about people who don't support us now, you have to, when you don't get the support, or they say something that goes against what you're attempting to do, you have to learn to sit back and separate that fear from that feedback. That's the first thing. We should be listening for useful advice. That's what we should be doing. When we're soliciting support from our family members, friends, co-workers, or whoever they are, we have to listen for useful advice, but don't absorb other people's fear as your truth.
The amount of people I listen
Let
to.
me
You
say
know how they
this.
say.
Let me say that again. You should listen for useful advice, but don't
Listen,
absorb other people's fear as your truth. Now go ahead.
Ain't
listen.
nothing else to say
First of
after that
all,
right there. You just dropped the
first of
mic on
all,
that.
people be saying your face should be the size of a mustard seed. Let me tell you something. The amount of people that I listen to and I take their advice is probably small, like a mustard seed. Because I gotta sit back and watch you before I allow your opinions or anything in my psyche, at all. And that's the thing. Sometimes we feel like we gotta go vent to everybody, we gotta talk to everybody, we need advice
That's
from
the
everybody.
worst thing
No,
we can
no,
do.
huh?
That's
No,
the
yeah,
worst thing
no,
we
you
need to
don't.
do. Go share your
Yeah,
business with
you don't.
everybody else.
Yeah, you don't need all of that, because you got to understand, sometimes the words people speak on you, just like you don't let everybody put they praying hands on you and stuff like that. Them words in it can get in the universe and get in the energy and mess everything all up for you. You don't let everybody know what you're doing, because you don't want that to spill over on you. And it's a lot of people, they'll say, oh, I'm so glad you're doing what you're doing, and then they'll turn right around, oh, that heifer thinks she's something, or that he think he's something. So and I've seen people do that,
Oh yeah, yeah.
um
It happens all the
tell you
time.
that they in there for you, and then they get on the phone with the next person. Girl, you know what she said. I had somebody tell me at work one time something was going wrong with the can opener. So me, I'm a troubleshoot first. I'm gonna be like, okay, let me make sure it's plugged in, let me make sure the cords are there, let me flip on the back or whatever. And they said to me, oh, it's okay, you could go ahead on and die, because I got grandchildren on the way. You can die like that. And they laughed about it. And
What
I
kind of
turned around and
environment
I
you
almost,
working in?
listen, I turned around and I almost let every word go to them from Assalamu alaikum to Laikum Salam. And then I told them, I said, well, you know what? I ain't even got nothing to say for you, because hell ain't even got a space for you. Satan don't even want you. You know what I'm saying? So you have to, things like that. You can't let people's energy rub off on you. And you got to learn how to shake it off and shrug it off. And just know that the words that people can speak on you sometimes, they're bad things, and they're bad thoughts and bad feelings. So you can't let everybody in your space, because you know what I'm saying, you got to keep it right there. I
Yeah,
and,
well,
and that's just
the first thing, like I said, you should be listening for useful advice when people speak to you, whether or not they're in support of you or not. You should be looking and listening for useful advice, and everything else you should discard, because a lot of times people will project their fears onto you and expect you to accept them as your truth. Remember this: most visionaries, they start out alone. Most people who are successful, they start out alone. They're the ones with the vision. They're the ones with the insight from the grand architect of the universe. They're the ones that understand and see the vision clearly. So outside of that, once they communicate it to someone else, it's for them to accept it as truth and understand it. That's where the problem lies. Hey, Latanya. Hey, Anton. Lafi, how are you? Listen, so we have to understand that as truth. People don't have to buy into your conversation. And everything somebody says to you, if it's in disagreement to what you're trying to do or what you're trying to accomplish, it doesn't cause for an argument. Sometimes it doesn't even call for a response. So when we start understanding some things, it makes it clearer and it makes it easier. And the first thing is to remember, most people who have these visions and solicit others for support, they start out alone. You don't always need any support initially. A lot of time, and it is my belief that when you start out with something, the majority of that information should be kept to yourself at that particular time. Because as we're discussing, most people aren't going to understand it.
Yeah.
They have to trust you, you know what I mean? Because they're not going to understand what you're trying to do. And that's a key that I understood early in life. I didn't care if they understood or not. Of course, it would have made me a lot happier. And it may have, I can't even say it would have made my journey easier, because everything that I accomplished and everything that I went through, it was because of the experiences that I had to go through to get there. So I can't really say, even if I solicited somebody earlier and they would have said, yeah, that it would have made it easier. It may have made it more difficult. I follow my God. I trust my grand architect and my creator. So it's easy for me to divorce myself from anything else. Because when my journey starts getting a little bit difficult, I know how to go to him. And he's not failed me yet. Now, I ain't going to start preaching, but I'm just telling you, he has not failed me yet. You got to remember, he's a guy that...
I mean, I get everything you saying, but for me, if you don't trust in me when I start, don't come trusting me when I finish. Because
Listen, see,
if
that's
you
where you and I differ. That's
if you
when
my
you...
thing is, if you can't be with me all the way, because I'm a ride or die kind of loyal person. I'm gonna support you from the beginning to end. If you were tearing me down when I started, then don't come over here, grinning from cheek to cheek, ear to ear with all 35 teeth when I finish. Because I feel like if I had to put in that much hard work, or be begging you, or be to a point where I'm begging almost for you to believe me and all that, that's too much of my energy going on. I'll be tired. I'm fat and everything. I ain't got time for all that.
Let me share this perspective. A lot of times, when we don't include people who have done us wrong or did not understand, we are not being fair to ourselves. Let me explain it to you. All right? Because I know you ready to argue. Look at you. I see them cheeks done blowed out, and I see smoke coming up from the screen. You ready to get at me. But let me explain. When you don't include someone who has done wrong, now, there are some things that we can never forget that people do. I will give you that. But we can forgive everybody, because if we understand one thing, that forgiveness is for us. It's not for the individual. It's for...
I didn't say I wasn't going to forget. Now, look, I did not say I was not going to forgive you. I said I said.
I'm not done. I let you speak. All right. So let me bring it home. Now, what if somebody just didn't understand your vision? Or what if somebody was just really afraid and fearful and didn't want you to know, because they had that much fear within themselves and they didn't want to disappoint you? I'm not talking about people who do things intentionally and out of malice and things of that nature. I can still forgive those people. But there's a place, I give this lecture in the lodge sometime. Even when I build a castle, if I build a castle by myself with just my family, and I put a moat around that castle, right? And I put the guard...
This ain't
yes,
even like...
yes,
no,
it does. This is a life lesson.
No,
Listen, this is a life lesson.
Mm-mm.
And I build that moat around the castle. And my family and everybody else, my guardsmen and all of their families, they're fed. Man, I've got people outside of that moat that are starving, right? And the reason that they're starving is because they didn't help me build a castle.
Listen,
Now,
I'm not
I'm
saying,
not done.
wait, look, now, because you got me wrong bent now. Because I ain't saying that if I see you, I ain't going to feed you, I ain't going to whatever. I'm just saying, keep that same energy. I'm going to look out for you. It's people now in my family and that I come in contact with. But let me just explain myself.
All right,
Now, what I'm saying, I'm going to help you, I'm going to feed you, whatever. But then I want you to keep that same energy. I don't need you after I do what I need to do, because I know it's the thing to do. I know.
Change?
What you say?
Can't people change?
Hell no, because if they show me who they are in the beginning, I ain't gonna forget. Because I done had it happen to me too many times, and I'm just being real.
Well,
People show you who they.
what about if you do something wrong? Do you think that you don't deserve forgiveness?
Me, I'm gonna let you know. Hey, and I've told
It
you
don't
that. Hey,
change
I'm
the
sorry,
fact that you
or
did
I
something
did this, or I
wrong.
did that.
It don't
But
change the fact that
I'm
you
not
did it.
saying, listen, I'm not saying I'm not gonna help you. I'm not saying I'm not gonna feed you with, but I'm gonna remember that same thing you did to me. I'm gonna remember I got to meet you where you at. I don't care. You can hold your head back or whatever. I'm gonna build a castle and build a moat. I ain't saying you can't come in there, but I'm just saying I'm gonna remember to keep you where you was at.
I'm saying you're doing yourself a disservice, and
That's
you
not
are
being a
negating.
disservice, realizing where
Listen,
people
you're
are at, what people
negating.
did.
You're negating some of your blessings because part of your lessons in life, and
Here you go with
the
that
first
calm
thing.
crap.
No, the first thing that you should learn in life is that you're not created to be independent of anyone. You are created to.
Ain't nobody saying that. You just ain't. You see, there you go with that not normal stuff. Now I know he'll keep finna come in a minute. But hell, I'm just telling you
What
that I'm gonna
you're
remember what
saying.
you did.
No,
Listen.
you were
Li-
saying
listen, Linda.
I'm trying to get you to.
Listen.
I'm trying to get you to
Now,
change your
now
perspective on that because
I'm not
that's not
saying
right.
I'm not gonna help you because I'm gonna do what I can for anybody, but I'm not gonna never forget, never, as my grandmama say, forget what you had done when you done what you done.
I get all that.
I'm gonna help you.
What's
I'm
my
gonna be there.
rule? What's my rule as a trained individual in
Your rules
combat
be
and
messed
martial
up.
arts? Listen,
Your
what do
rules
I
be
always
messed
say?
up.
Now, what do I say? I always say,
Hell, I don't know
yeah, you
what you
do.
say,
I say, you can say and do anything
bruh.
as long as you don't put your hands on me. If you
But
put
they
your
be done put their hands on me. That it feel like it.
if they put their hands on me, then I've got a right to defend myself. If they steal from me my property or break into my home, I've got a right to defend myself. Outside of doing something like that, I could care less because number one, we've all done wrong. We've all not held up.
And I don't if I have wronged somebody, whether I apologize or not, I don't expect them to, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna let you know I'm gonna apologize and do whatever I need to do if you bring it to my attention. Even if I don't feel like I owe you an apology, but if I know that it made you feel a certain type of way, I'm gonna do that and I'm gonna go on. I'm not gonna expect nothing from you. You know what I'm saying?
Let's not
I'm
create a double standard.
I'm not gonna do that. What?
Let's not create a double standard.
That's not a double standard. But I'm gonna let you
Now,
go on with your analytical
you
stuff.
go ahead and review this at the beginning from that onset to what you
I ain't
said,
doing that.
and then this part of the
What?
conversation. What I'm
So
saying is
what you
very
talking
simple.
about? Go back there then.
I can't go back, but I'm saying
You said you remember. Go ahead, so we can talk about it.
I'm saying that you said once they wrong you, they can stay where they at. That's what you said.
I'm gonna remember I'm gonna remember what happened. I'm gonna remember what you did.
That
Just
is wrong. There's
period.
nothing wrong with remembering the joy. What I'm telling you that you have to forgive people because you've done some of the same things that you're talking about that these people done to you.
I didn't say I wasn't gonna forgive you. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I just said I'm not gonna forget.
You said they can stay over there. I'm saying
they can.
Listen, I'm saying that I can welcome you into my world, but I know your position in my world. If I know that you stole from me before, right, then I might have to start you out outside of that moat. I might start you out outside of the gate, but I don't hate you for stealing from me. I don't know what's in your heart. Remember, I always talked about intent. If you steal from someone, you don't know. If you're on the outside looking in, you say, oh, that's a dirty SOB. He should go get a job. All right, let's take the scenario where a kid, a young man has a baby, done applied for many jobs, couldn't get a job, is a felon, can't do any of that stuff, right? And he knows that his baby needs some food, right? He don't have any money. His baby is starving. His wife is sick. All of these things are negatively affecting his life. If he goes in the store and he steals bread and food and brings it home to feed his family, are we the ones to say that what he did was wrong? No, because we don't know what his intent is until he gets caught, and even when we use mitigating circumstances and we bring him to trial and judge him and all those things. That's why the good book says that we should not judge people. And I'm just trying to get you to understand that, because even though we may look at him and say, oh man, he healthy, he need to get a job. We're going to judge him from that because we see him running out the store with this loaf of bread with all these canned goods and everything. And we're saying in our mind, you are healthy. You should do like everybody else. Go get a job and take care of your family. Now, if all of those avenues have been exhausted and he has a kid that hasn't eaten in 4 or 5 days and he himself have not, I can't judge that person and say, you were wrong for stealing. Because if I was in the same situation, I would do the same thing.
Listen,
And I would ask.
I'm not even disputing that part, because I've had situations, I've had situations. But what I'm saying is that it's a difference sometimes. Don't think I didn't reach back and help somebody because I realized, hey, they didn't have this, or they didn't have clothes, or they didn't have food, or they just didn't know, or they just needed help in this and that. I ain't saying I've never done that. I'm saying that when it gets to a certain point, when people do things, I'm not gonna forget what you did. I'm not gonna forget that you did what we're talking about right now. You didn't see my vision. You didn't believe, or you didn't trust
We
me.
keep
Then
saying
we're
that.
not doing that.
We're not saying that. You keep going back to forgetting. Nobody's saying forget what they've done. We're gonna always remember. Even if you tried to forget it, you couldn't forget it. You're gonna remember because it was one of your experiences. But let's move on. So the majority of people, all the major success stories began without support. So that's why I'm saying even the support that we solicit may not even be necessary. We just feel it is for whatever reasons, and we're going to talk about those reasons. People usually support things when? After they see results. Very few people are going to support you before they see results. They normally support you after they see results. Early stages require belief without applause. When you're starting something and you're removing all this doubt, it requires belief without the applause. Because we can always quit. We can always quit and not even waste our time. But if we're really interested in being successful, it requires that you believe in yourself and what you're doing without having people applaud you or validate what you're doing. You should strengthen your internal validation. Nobody can tell me nothing, as Kanye West would say. I'm going to beat it till the wheels fall off. And I do believe that I can have success. I do believe that I can have success in almost anything that I do. And even in the things that I don't have success in, I can turn them into something that is successful. It may not be the first thing that I had in mind, but I guarantee you it's connected to the dream or the vision. If your confidence depends on approval, doubt will always follow. If your confidence depends on approval of your friends or whoever else, doubt will always follow. So you don't depend on approval from anybody else other than yourself and your creator, the grand architect of the universe. We should study our craft and we should know it inside and out. When we study our craft and we know it inside and out, it builds that confidence quickly. Even tracking small accomplishments and progress builds confidence. Now, here's the most important thing. We should keep promises that we make to ourselves. We should keep promises that we make to ourselves. So going through that process of whatever we're trying to be successful at, we have our own benchmarks. So when we set those benchmarks and those events and those tasks, we're the ones that are setting those different things. So we should always keep those promises to ourselves. Self-trust grows when you consistently follow through. Hold on one moment. What is all that noise? Okay, I'm back. I don't know why children, every time you do something, you hear a whole bunch of bumbling and stumbling. But anyway, so we should keep the promises we make to ourselves. That's real simple for me. But if we want to have any type of success, we can't put our success and let it be contingent on other people. I'm telling you, this is an internal thing, internal drive that you must have to get success. You cannot rely on other people to make you successful. Even if you need support from other people, the drive has to come from within you. Hey, Stephanie. Hey, Da Vinci. All right, I think we understand that. My belief is very simple. We lean heavily on support when we have not overcome our own fears. We lean heavily on having somebody else around us. It's just like gangs and grouping and that philosophy and theory on grouping. We feel comfortable when we got a bunch of people around us. So we rely heavily on that support when we have not overcome our own fears. Once we overcome our fears, it becomes easier to rely on our own intuition. When we overcome our fears, it's easy to rely on our own intuition. So to me, the main reason we feel we need a whole lot of support lies within our own fears. We have to understand the psychology of resistance. The psychology of resistance. When we try to grow, it can disrupt existing relationships, our expectations. When we start to grow, it can disrupt existing relationships, our expectations. Some people resist change. We know there are a myriad of reasons why that people resist change. But some of the most common one that people never talk about is this. People resist change because it forces them to evaluate their own choices. So your growth is going to cause them to take a deep look at themselves, particularly if they're in your same group, your same ethnicity, your same environment. It's going to force them to take a look at themselves and evaluate their own choices. The second is that they are comfortable with the current dynamic of the relationship. And lastly, they are worried about losing the connection with you. If you think about it.
Now, why would that be so? If you win it, if you're, why would why would they worry about losing a connection with you? Like, I don't get that part, because if
you
you
got to
did,
remember,
then
you got to remember that resistance is not about you, it's about them, their insecurities. So even though you may be the person, and I know what kind of person you are, that you're not going to forget people that do you right, or people who have contributed to your success, are just good, genuine people. You're going to always have that kind heart. These people, they don't have that kind of heart condition. So what they feel and what they feel and fear, is the fact that if you're successful, that they're going to lose the connection in the relationship that you once had. That's what they fear. So it has nothing to do with you. It has to do with them, you know? And anytime that we deal with people who have some subliminal reasons or some undercover reasons from being around you, that resistance is obvious to you. And most people don't even see it. When people start to do different things around you, when you have the right spirit and the right heart condition, it's easy for you to see what's happening. Now, in their minds, they feel that they're the cleverest, the most clever people on the planet. And they feel that everything they're doing is incognito. And you don't know about it. Because most people who are underhanded and people who are expert in betrayal, they are cowards. They are cowards. So they have a one-track mind and a straight vision. They can't see around them. So when they do things to you, they really feel that you do not know about it. And that's crazy. Because if you're righteous and if you're doing the right thing, it's easy for you to pick up on that stuff. It's easy for you to see it. I mean, it sticks out like a sore thumb. So let's remember this. When people don't support us and they resist giving us the support that we thought that we would get from them, it's not about you. It's about their own fears. Fear of losing you, a fear that they have to evaluate their own choices and see where they are and why they are in the position that you are in or trying to get to. And they worry about losing that connection with you. Now, the other thing is this. We have to limit, and listen, this is a big stickler for me. And anybody that knows me, I talk about, if you're negative, you're going to get from around me, and you're going to get from around me quick. I'll walk off, I'll dismiss myself, but I just don't entertain it because I've learned through life that negative energy, if you allow it, it will cloud anything positive that you have going on in your life. So even if it becomes part of your thought pattern, so I avoid it at all costs. I avoid it like the plague. When you're around me talking all crazy and negatively about any situation or any people, anything, I get from around you, because I don't like entertaining it, because I know that my karma is good, and if I entertain that, then it's going to become part of my existence, and I have a choice in that. Remember that. So we have to limit that negativity. You don't have to argue with everybody that disagrees with you. You don't have to argue with everyone who disagrees with you. I'm stumping my foot like the teacher in the class. Put that on the paper so you can always refer back to it. Sometimes the best way to accomplish this is simply to reduce the conversations about your goals. Keep working, and keep working quietly. You don't have to broadcast everything that you're doing. I'm big on keeping things quiet until they're finished, until they're accomplished, because I guess I'm kind of superstitious. I believe the more people that get involved with it, the odds of something going wrong increases. So if I'm by myself, then the odds of it going wrong has been minimized. The more people are involved, the more opportunity for things to go wrong, or somebody to say something crazy or do something that goes against my will. So keep quiet and work quietly. That way, you let your results speak for you. You don't need an amen corner. You let your results speak. That's the biggest accomplishment that you can make when you're dealing with people who don't want to support you, or people who don't understand. All right, DeGeorge, I'm going to get off my soapbox because I'm getting a little passionate about it right now.
I ain't got nothing to say. You done made me mad early
Why?
in the podcast. Because you can go on with that, some of that.
I don't know why I made you mad. It's just my opinion of things, you know.
No, you done made me mad at some stuff. So
Hey, Connie,
don't
I'm
be
sorry.
asking me.
I'm sorry.
Don't
I'm
be
sorry,
asking me.
DeJoya. Please don't. 40 lashes. I can't stand it.
Made me roll my eyes at you and everything.
Okay. All right, so let's get back to it. All we really need is to find one or two people that believe in what we're doing. You don't need a group of people. And I know there's one person in your life that really believes in what you're doing. Okay? There is one person. It may take you a minute to find them. And that's the other thing with most people. If they don't get the results right away, then they become frustrated and discouraged. Just take your time. Relax. Just take your time. That person will show up when you need them the most. So you don't need a crowd of people to believe in you. Often, all you need is just one mentor, one friend, or one supporter, and they can provide all the encouragement that you need. Ain't that right, DeJoya?
Didn't I tell y'all being quiet? Don't ask me to say nothing now. Don't ask me.
I'm just saying. Okay. All right. Let's talk about this. Moving forward, you just need to focus on the mission, not the approval. If you focus on the mission and not the approval of other people, you're going to be fine. You're going to find you don't need that many supporters. All right. Many people who eventually admire your success, this is what you were talking about, DeJoya, will be the same people. It will be the same people who doubted you earlier. So now what you going to do?
Don't be looking at me to say, don't be looking at me. Why are you looking at me?
I'm asking you a question. What are you going to do when those same people that doubted you, they're going to come back. What are you going to do? I'm just curious to know.
I'm
All
gonna
right, next
hug them
question.
like Brutus. With that man named Julius
Judas.
Caesar got hugged. That's how I'm gonna hug them.
Oh, you going to hug him like Judas did of Jesus? Give
No,
the
I ain't. Cause I was mad at Judas, but I'm talking about Julius Caesar. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna hug them like that in that Julius Caesar thing, just so they know you done
yeah,
stabbed
but
me in my back before.
he stabbed him when
What?
he hugged him. When he
Did
hugged him,
they
he
stab
stabbed
me?
him. Okay. All right. So here's the bigger lesson. When you get doubt from other people, it's just the price of originality. That's the price you pay for being original and genuine. You're going to get the doubt. So if you accept it and you know that that's part of the process, then you aren't upset at all. As I'm not upset because I understand that your doubt is part of the process and it's the price that I have to pay for my originality or my creativity. That's the price I
Mm-hmm.
gotta pay.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody can't create. Everybody can't be original. There are some people who are meant to be followers on this planet. There are some people who are meant to be leaders. So when I see it, I recognize it, I welcome it, and I accept my role as it applies to me and my life. Simple. When people close to us don't support our goals, it has a very deep psychological reason. Understanding these reasons can make it easier not to take it, what, DeJoy? Personal. We don't need to react personally when these people act like dunces. You know, we got the one in the White House that says crazy stuff. I saw something today where he said the people who were dead are walking
Yeah, I
around.
said that to you.
Oh, okay. They're walking around with no arms and legs.
Ooh, Lord. Yeah, that little orange man right there, boy.
But
45,
listen
47, whatever
how
number
that
he.
sound. He said the people who are
What number he
dead,
was? 45 and what?
huh? He said the people who
Shoot.
are, he said the people who are dead are walking around with no arms and legs. How can you be walking around if you're dead? But anyway,
With
let's
no
keep it.
legs and arms too.
Yeah. But here are five psychological reasons. Number one, people don't support you, or people close to us don't support us. Number one, because of fear of change. When you start pursuing something new, it can disrupt the normal pattern of a relationship. And when that pattern is disrupted, it becomes very uncomfortable for them. People sometimes fear that if you grow or succeed, the relation and the dynamics of that relationship will change, or they might lose their place in your life.
He ain't wrong for thinking that though. I've been trying to tell you. I'm sorry, y'all. I know he was closing out, but he struck a nerve. They is not wrong for thinking that because it just might be true in my life. I'm trying to tell y'all now.
You're right, DeJoy. Their
That's what I'm
attempt,
saying.
their resistance is often an attempt to keep things the same.
Ooh.
So they're really afraid that you're going to leave them. That's all it is.
And they ain't got to be afraid because I'm telling you, You lit up my life, you light up my life, and now you gone.
Okay. All right. The second thing is that it causes projections of their own limitations. It makes
And don't get mad because I had to show you where you was limited at.
okay. All right.
I'm just, I'm just
Sometimes
saying.
people discourage you because they are projecting their own self-doubt and experiences. They are projecting their own self-doubt and experiences. So when they doubt you, I remember I said earlier, it's not about you, it's about them. So,
But let me just interject this, and I know we gotta go, but
all right.
sometimes I just like and I don't have a lot of people in my circle, but I just learn from them. I don't get upset because they succeed, or I don't get be a certain type of way, and I don't know why people have a problem with this, but I think more people should want to learn from other people, and then they think it's something wrong with that. And the reason why we have some of these problems that we're talking about, like what we're talking about, is because people feel like they can't learn from somebody else, or if they have to go to somebody else for help or learn from somebody else, it's a problem. So if you can pick the people in your circle that you can learn from and that you can grow from, that would help a lot of the doubt that you may have, even in yourself or in the things that that you're trying to accomplish. And that's on a very serious note. I don't want people in my circle, excuse me, I had to prop myself up some more, but I don't want people in my circle that I can't learn from. If there's people in your circle that you can't learn from, you need to take them people out your circle. And I think that if more people really got that idea or really picked up on that concept, that we wouldn't have, a lot of problems. So that's honestly where I am. I learn from y'all, I learn from other people around me and things like that. And if I don't learn something from you, or if you don't enhance my life or enhance me, or as me as a person, and I'm not doing the same for you and I don't enhance you, then there's no need for us to be in the same space. Because if we can't help each other, if I can't help you, maybe you're not there to help me. Maybe I'm there to help you. So seriously, if I can't do anything for you in your life and enhance your life, I don't need you in my circle.
I
I
agree.
want you to
I
go
agree.
go be where you can be the best you. So that's what I mean when I say, I'm not going to reach back or keep that same energy, because I feel like if you're not riding with me, then I feel like, okay, well, if you ride with me, you might be able to learn something. I might be able to learn from you. I might be sinking and you might be able to pull me up. You know what I'm saying? Or you might be sinking at some point in my journey and I can pull you up because I've learned something within the journey. So that's what I meant when I said, like, there ain't no coming back if you didn't believe, you know what I'm saying? So and so yeah, I just wanted to clarify that and explain myself
All
with
right.
that. So yeah.
Point well taken. Point well taken. All right. So we have 3.8K. So we thank everybody for joining us tonight, and we love all of you. Pass this on to your friends and all of your family members. We talk, OUITALK, every Wednesday at 8 o'clock. Okay, so they are projecting their own limitations. The next thing is that they're comfortable with familiarity. What's familiar to them, they're confident with that. Growth often requires, check this out, growth often requires risk, discipline, and uncertainty. So when people are comfortable, when they are comfortable, they do not want to take any risk. They don't want to be disciplined, and they definitely don't want to be in a situation where things are uncertain. Some people prefer stability and predictability. They like to be able to predict the outcome. Some people are risk takers and they plan for different ventures and different outcomes. They plan and they rehearse and they practice. Some people are perfectly fine being stable where they are and being able to predict whatever's going to happen in their life. When they see you stepping outside of that comfort zone, it can make them uneasy because it challenges their belief that staying safe is the best option. And when you destroy that wall, then they're lost puppies. When you prove to them that staying comfortable is the way to go, and when you take risks and you become successful, it challenges their belief. The last thing is, well, one of the other things is that comparison and insecurity. Your ambition or progress can unintentionally trigger comparison. And DeJoya and Keith, I know y'all know this to be true. When people see that you get ready to elevate or you're changing anything in your life from the positive and they're still here, you don't intend to make them feel any kind of way, but you can unintentionally trigger comparison. And people might start evaluating their own lives against yours. Now that's crazy.
Happens all the time. Welcome to the
All
world
the
of
time.
standing out. Happens all the time.
Yep.
And then they make it like it's your fault. Like you made that happen. No, I didn't do anything. Actually, I was just doing what I do. And now you looking at me. So yeah, that's a different discussion for a different day.
Yes, indeed. And lastly, they have a lack of vision. Like I said.
He came in and just said it happens all the time.
All the time.
It's true, though. It is
All the
true.
time.
So listen, and the last thing is they have a lack of vision. Not everyone can see your possibilities beyond what already exists. Let me say that again. Not everyone can see your possibilities of whatever it is you're trying to do beyond what already exists. People are fine when you go to work, pick them up. When you get off, y'all go drink a beer. That's comfortable. That's routine. But when you reroute that trip and now you start drinking champagne, it's going to cause them to question some things. Why are we drinking champagne? He must be getting ready to get rid of me. He don't like beer no more. Hey, what's the song say? My mind playing tricks on me? Man, you'd be surprised how people think when you start altering or interrupting that process that they're so familiar with. When they're familiar with that thing, they love it. They don't want to change nothing. All right? Some people rely heavily on visible proof before believing something will work. So you got to prove it to them before they'll support you. Because they can't see the future that you imagine, or when you spell it out, they can't see it. They assume it is unrealistic. Ain't that something? Because they can't see it, there's no way for you to accomplish it. And they're not even in your skin. Because they don't see it, they don't believe it's possible for you to accomplish. Or they look at you and they place their own handicaps on you, whether or not they're physical, mental, psychological, emotional. They're going to project all of those things onto you. And that's the reason they won't support you, because of projections, not for what and who you are. All right? I'm going to open it up to Keith and DeJoya before I finish out. But hey, we thank all of you, 3.8, 3.9 now. Thank all of you for being in here. And we do this every Wednesday. So we love you and we hope to see you all next week as well. I'm gonna open it up to my co-hosts. Do you all have anything else you want to add before I close it out?
No, I'm good.
All right. Okay. Again, thank everyone. And we know it's kind of late. We went over, but sometimes we get into these discussions and they get real good. So, in conclusion, when people don't support our path, the real challenge becomes learning to trust your own direction. You don't need anybody with you. The challenge is learning to trust your own direction. External support is helpful. Don't get me wrong. External support is helpful. But lasting progress comes from your own internal conviction. Lasting progress comes from your own internal convictions. The people who succeed, despite doubt, are usually those who continue working quietly, improving steadily, and allowing time and results to validate their belief. Not people.
I love it.
All right?
I love it. Let
Not
time
people.
validate your belief. I love it.
And not people.
I love
That's the
it.
bottom part.
Oh man, oh man, oh man.
All right. But anyway, we thank all of you for being here tonight. Another great discussion. If you missed the one from last week, you can go and check it out on our Facebook page. But we'll be here next Wednesday. Y'all take care. Au revoir, au demain, au Wiedersehen, and we'll see all of you next Wednesday. Take care.